I'm cooking lobster today. When you buy lobster, usually I tend to favor the female with the eggs in it and a bit tender. Usually the body is slightly wider, but where you can see it is there. As you can see that this one is a male. The last two appendage here, which goes between the rib, are longer and hard, it's like a shell. And the body is slightly narrower. Here the body is slightly wider, the female, and you have those last two appendage are much more, are much smaller. So to kill a lobster, to grill it, you have to cut where the line is in between the eye, and the lobster doesn't have a brain, it just have a central nervous system. So you go down there and that's it. So you turn it around and continue on the same line to cut it into two pieces. You can see it here. Now, I removed the little rubber band here, of course, and you can see that in there, between the eye where I cut here, there is that bag. This is the stomach. It's usually full of gravel. And that you remove. The green here will turn bright red when it cooks. This is the roe of the female. The pale green here is the tamale, the liver of the tamale that the male has as well as the female, but that green, deep green roe, only the female has it because this is the roe. So to grill it, you put it this way. You want to break the claw because otherwise it makes it harder to take a towel on top to crack it this way. See, now it's cracked. And that's all there is to it. I like to do it fresh like this. Sometimes we put a little bit of herb or stuffing inside here, some olive oil on top and up under the broiler for a few minutes. Very often, the lobster is poached, of course, and there is different way of poaching it depending the size that you have. I tend to put it sometime just in boiling water, let it come back to a boil, maybe boil a minute or so and leave it on the side. And you have to take the meat out of it. Take the meat out of it, the first thing you do, you break the tail, and then usually you want to keep all that juice for mixed to a mayonnaise or whatever. You crack the tail this way, and then get that lobster was just cooked. And that you can pull this out. Here. Usually the lobster will give you about a quarter of his weight. I'm saying that a pound lobster will give you 4 ounces of meat. Often we eat a great deal of lobster in summer because we think it's the lobster season when in fact it's better in winter. Winter they have the hard shell lobster. In summer often the soft shell lobster have less meat in it. So the front is there. You want to take the juice, as I say again, and see the stomach here. I didn't split it in half, so the stomach is in one piece here, which is that bag, that sack that I saw you split in the other lobster. This would be the stomachs here, full of gravel inside. Okay. Sometimes we keep the end of it for decoration and the tail. And now we break this. You want to break it at that joint. Aficionado will tell you that that particular joint is the best part of the lobster. This is the crusher, this is the pincher, the long one, and that's the stronger one. To remove the meat here, you want to break this at the joint, pull out the bone. There is a bone inside here which will come out, and the meat, you see, if you wiggle it right, that bone which is inside the meat comes out, and the meat which is inside there stays there. Break it. It's always better to cover it. And as you can see, this one for a big clove like this has a relatively small pieces of meat, which is right there. when you invite people to eat lobster, you know, you have them, give them one of those nutcracker, and they fight with it, but this is the joy of eating lobster in summer, you know. I have that whole piece of meat inside the claw here. He's coming out now. With that first part, which I say is the best, here. There. Right away here. For that one here. Now the tail itself is cut in half, conventionally, to look if there is any intestinal tract. This one seems to be clean, so we'll put it back there. And often the lobster will be presented this way with the front of the lobster here. The one here, you can do a puff paste, put that underneath. You have the whole meat of the lobster right there.